The light bulb is a simple technology, little more than a resistive filament encased in an evacuated glass globe. But it is one of the greatest technologies ever invented, and here, inside the brightest bulb shop in New York City, it is displayed in all its dazzling sundry forms. White vanity bulbs crowd the shelves, and funnel-shaped halogens spill out into the aisles. There are coils of colored bulbs, frosted, flame-tipped holiday bulbs, flickering electric chandelier bulbs, and full-spectrum daylight bulbs, bulbs for microscopes and vacuum cleaners and refrigerators, bulbs that glow like old gas lamps, and bulbs that claim to make you more virile.
Just bulbs. That's me.
This is David Brooks. He's the proprietor of the shop. He's a trim, angular man with a thick, peppered goatee and a brisk stride. He used to be a tax attorney in St. Louis, but as he says,
A former lawyer is always the happiest lawyer.
so when his parents retired 27 years ago, he took over their lighting shop in Manhattan called Just Bulbs, and he's sold nothing but bulbs ever since.
And they keep changing, so you have to keep up with them. These plain old 100-watt bulbs, they won't exist in 6 months.
Why is that?
Because under the Energy Code 2007, Congress banned them.
Brooks is referring to the United States Energy Independence and Security Act, which banned the manufacture of common incandescent lamps, starting with the 100-watt variety in 2012. Incandescents are notorious energy wasters. Only 10% of the electricity they consume gets used for light. The rest gets lost as heat. So to conserve energy and cut carbon emissions, countries all over the world are phasing them out. In the European Union, it is illegal, as of September 2009, for shops to buy incandescent lights of the frosted or 100-watt variety. In Australia, shops are prohibited from importing all tungsten bulbs, low-voltage halogen lamps, and most other bulbs that radiate less than about 15 lumens per watt. Cuba is the only country that has altogether purged itself of lighting inefficiency. In 2005, the Cuban government stopped the import and sale of incandescent bulbs, and even sent social workers to Cubans' homes to replace their old-style lamps with watt-saving compact fluorescent ones.
And it's pretty funny, some people hate the fact that light bulbs are going.
Though Brooks will tell you he personally doesn't get nostalgic about them. In fact, he's already begun to stock his store with energy-efficient stand-ins, curly, compact fluorescents in all shades of white, and light-emitting diodes of various shapes and sizes. But many of his customers aren't as accepting of the switchover.
So what they're doing is they're stocking up a lifetime supply. We just had a lady in Nashville who used to buy all the time in a supermarket 60 watts soft pink light bulbs because they make you look good. Old ladies like pink light bulbs. You can barely get them anywhere. And she thinks that the Sylvania one that I sent her a few of was the best color pink. Not GE, no one else is pink, because Sylvania calls it Pinkque, Pinque.
And if you're looking for bulbs you can't find anywhere else, Just Bulbs is probably your best bet. Among the rarest and most expensive bulbs Brooks sells are obsolete projector bulbs. A single bulb costs somewhere between $200 and $300.
Typically those go in old movie cameras and old movie theater projectors or old strobe lights, that sort of thing. Those are all handmade. Sometimes they're thousands watts, sometimes they're 2,000 watts.
In total, Brooks has crammed about 45,000 different types of bulbs into his 93 square meter shop. So of course, when the old lady from Tennessee called about the pink bulbs, Brooks had a dozen already in stock.
So she bought the dozen, and then she called me and said she's going to stock up. She wants 500 of them. Not only is she going to use them, but she's going to give them to her friends. And when her daughter gets married, she's going to give it to her for a present. Light bulbs for a wedding present. It's a perfect present.
You could say that bulbs run in Brooks's blood. His grandfather, Augustine Brooks, was a light peddler. Brooks claims that Augustine used to sell light bulbs in the Empire State Building. Augustine opened Just Bulbs in 1942. For years, and even when Brooks's parents took over, the shop stayed pretty generic. It was Brooks who added the exoticism. In the window display hang strips of flashing blue LEDs. They're the same kind of lights that hang from the maple trees across the street from Macy's famous Manhattan department store around Christmas time.
It's kind of an icy blue-white, and they drip from one to the next sort of in a random pattern, and it just looks neat.
Besides Christmas lights, Brooks also has an array of party lights for any occasion.
We have flowers and dragonflies and bumblebees and baseballs, and we have Yankee lights and everything else.
His favorite bulbs, though, are the antique carbon ones.
They're reproductions of 1890 and 1910 original bulbs.
They've got elaborately coiled amber filaments and names like the squirrel cage and the pig's tail. His most popular bulb is always changing. Bulbs, apparently, are as faddish as clothing. For example, last year, during Halloween and Christmas, most of his customers bought blue bulbs. But this year,
We're finding a lot of people are buying the mood light bulbs right now. We have a different color light bulb that enhances a different mood. It's supposed to make you feel the way the light bulb is designed for. For instance, we have one called Serenity, which is supposed to make you calm. There's a variation on yellow that's called Happiness.
star bulbs are also a big hit at Just Bulbs.
They're very popular with old-fashioned Sputnik fixtures.
Antique fixtures that look like the old Sputnik satellites the Soviets flew into space in the 1960s, with a silver globe in the middle and lots of arms shooting out in all directions. At the end of each little arm is a socket for a bulb.
People put little ping pong ball sized bulbs in them typically, but they look really special with our little stars.
Seeing so many brilliant bulbs packed into one little shop, it's hard to imagine a world without them. But back when Augustine opened Just Bulbs, it was in the middle of World War II, and incandescent light bulbs, like sugar and silk stockings, were scarce. And soon, they will be again. But in the meantime, you can bet that whatever bulb can be had, David Brooks will have it.
Have a bright day.